Hi everybody, welcome to a stripped down version of the Boom Boom Room. Tonight, if you remember last week when we did live from Michael Alberini's restaurant, I said that we wouldn't be back here because I was traveling. Well, my trip got delayed a couple of days, so I'm actually leaving, probably gone Thursday, if not Friday. So if I'm gone Thursday, I'll obviously can't do it. If I'm leaving Friday, I may be back on Thursday. So anyhow, we thought we'd be gone. Didn't think we'd be doing a show. So obviously you see we weren't prepared. There's no live music. My guy Viking Jim's not here. It's me and my cut man Joe Danier. So I got a stripped down show, stripped down corner, and I tell you the truth, we didn't really come prepared for a whole lot today. So I thought, well, just let's wing it and see how it goes. Try to have some fun with it. Talk about some stuff going on. So if I'm looking down, at some notes, things that are on ESPN. You get the ESPN app and see what's going on around the sports world. I'll talk about some, I'm going to talk about, I've been getting a lot of emails about and texts about from people who watch and listen to the show. I've been getting a lot about talking about philosophy. They like when I give a little stuff about motivational talks, motivational lines, motivational, when I talk about the things about motivation that motivate me, that I talk about, different people I listen to, people I read, and the little motivational excerpts. A lot of people seem to like that. So I said I'll talk about that. Today would be a good show to do that because we're not prepared for a whole lot of other things. But before we do that, let's just talk about a few things. I want to thank all the people out there that have texted me today, because today was actually 36 years ago today. It's my 36-year anniversary of my first title defense after I won the world title. My first title defense here in Mollenkopf Stadium in Warren, Ohio. I fought and defeated Ernesto Espana from Venezuela. And if most people, some people that were there, for those who weren't there, who watched from other parts of the country, it was in a high school football stadium, Warren G. Harding High School Football Stadium. We had over 20,000 people live. And the reason that's so significant is because at that time, we were at the height of our unemployment. The unemployment reached about 28% here in Youngstown. And I remember people telling me afterwards, and I remember before the fact, that people were cashing in their welfare checks, their social security checks, things, checks they were getting, unemployment checks, to buy tickets to this fight. And I remember how much I appreciated that, how much I certainly, it meant the world to me that they did that. And which is one of the reasons, I think I've told the story before, for those who haven't heard it. Bob Arum, before the fight, had the tickets at ringside, I think were $100, reserved for $50, and general admission were $20. And I found that out, and I told Bob Arum, I said, Bob, you can't do that. He said, what do you mean? I said, you can't do that. People here cannot afford that. Unemployment's so high. People they won't be able to afford to bring their families or bring kids, or whoever wants to come may not be able to come because of the ticket pricing. So what do you want me to do? I said, you got to drop the prices. You got to cut it in half. He said, what? So you got to cut them in half. So he eventually agreed, but I'm going to tell you the rub on that in a minute. But so ringside were $50, reserve were $20, and general admission were $10. And I remember he said to me, he said, are you out of your mind? He said, he said, I can't make no money that way. I said, you're going to make it up in volume. People will come. You got to make it affordable, but people will come. And if you remember, again, I tell people who remember, and most people don't, is that the week of that, before the fight, the week leading up to it, was raining like crazy. And the forecast was for Saturday, July 24th, rain, bad, torrential rain. And so Bob said, if I lose money, if people don't show up for this fight, I'm taking it out of your purse. So I had to write an addendum to my contract that if we didn't get X amount of people, that the money was coming from my purse. And I did it, believing that the people would show up. And if you remember, I said, oh God, help me, please make it a good day, make it a good day. Because, you know, I did that on blind faith. And if you remember that Saturday morning, woke up, sunshine, blue skies. It was high 80s. It was hotter than hell at the fight, if anybody who was there at the fight remembers. And we sold out 20,000 people. So I always have nothing but love for the people of Youngstown and Warren, Trumbull, and Mahoney counties for supporting the fight, supporting me and coming out to that fight. And I know a lot of people, when I've seen them on the streets, I've run into them, they talk about that fight quite often. And it was great. It looked great on television. I remember CBS, David Dinkins, the executive producer of the show, said it was one of the best shows they had. Visually, it looked great. I remember they did a high over the, they did a high shot from the, what was it? I don't know, I'm gonna say helium, not the helium balloon. What do you call it? The balloon. You know, they had a thing flying over the stadium that took aerial shot of the people, and it was amazing. It looked like ants, a bunch of ants on, and so it was a great visual. It was great for the city, both Warren and Youngstown, Trumbull County, Mahoney County, and people went out afterwards. We went at a party at the VIP in Niles, and people there remember that Sylvester Stallone came to the fight. He was at ringside. He also came to the VIP later on. Ray Leonard was doing commentary. A lot of people were there in the stands, and it was a great day for me. One of my other than winning the world title, probably the greatest memory I have in my career. So thank you for the people of Youngstown and Warren and Mahoning and Trumbull County for making such a special day for me. And it was 36 years ago today, so it's a very special anniversary for me. So thank you very much for that. Also, so let's talk about some sports here a little bit. And some people call me now, as my daughter's calling me to do a FaceTime. Not the right time. Not the right time right now. So, she's actually calling. She's out of the country too. Can I get you one second? I'm pleased to one second. Nina, I'm live. I'm live on the air. Where you at? You know.
Oh, I'm in a lift on the way back to my grandma's house.
Where you go? You guys are back?
I came back. I changed my flight.
Okay, I'm live on the air, so I'll call you back.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay. Bye. My daughter, I'm surprised because she was in Cuba. She was in Cuba with her mother and her grandmother and cousins, and I'm surprised she's back in the country. So that's why she's telling me she's on the way back to her grandmother's house in Miami. So I got to find out what happened. Okay, that kind of threw me off a little bit, Joe. Anyhow, Joe, we gotta check out. Hopefully, we got people watching. I don't know if we got anybody watching because we said we weren't gonna do a show, but we'd have something going on. So again, but I do appreciate the people watching. And if we say we are an international show, I got my friends watching in England. I have family watching in Venezuela. Family watching in Italy. So we are truly an international show. So let's talk. Look, how about this today? Todd Gurley of the Los Angeles Rams signed a 4-year deal. Now you're going to see this a lot more happening now. Since Kirk Cousins signed that big deal with the Washington Redskins, guaranteed contract. Because you remember, most of every other sport, basketball and baseball, they're guaranteed contracts. Whatever they sign for, they're guaranteed. Football, historically, all that's guaranteed is the signing bonus, which is so important about where guys are in the draft. If they go 1 through 10, or if they drop out of 10, because it's how much you get for a signing bonus. If you're in the top 10, you get a big signing bonus. After that, it drops down considerably. So, especially if you're in the second or third round, you get a ham sandwich. So, baseball and basketball have historically been guaranteed contracts. So when Kirk Cousins got that guaranteed signed contract last year with the Washington Redskins, it changed the landscape of football. So now a lot of guys are asking for guaranteed contracts, and rightfully so. To be honest with you, what they do to their body, rightfully so. So Todd Gurley just signed a 4-year deal with the Rams worth $60 million, but $45 million is guaranteed. So that's over $10 million a year, guaranteed. And then for a running back whose lifespan is very short, that's good. I'm happy for him. He got a $20 million signing bonus. So, you know, $20 million signing bonus, and then 25. That would be another 25 guaranteed for over the next 4 years. It's worth 60. He has to hit certain strides, probably a certain amount of yards per year, a certain amount of carries. But 45 is guaranteed, which is an average of a little over $10 million a year. So God bless him, happy for him. Now, what that's going to be significant because there's a lot of other running backs, such as David Johnson, Ezekiel Elliott, and Le'Veon Bell, who couldn't get a long-term extension with the Steelers that he wanted. So, and Todd Gurley hasn't been in the league as long as he has. So, that's going to be significant. Let's talk about some other things here. Yeah, how about this? With the thing I was today, how many people watched on Sports Center or heard about it that the Yankees center, jeez, the Yankees catcher, Gary Sanchez. Did you see this on the thing?
Not, no.
Gary Sanchez, who's who's one of the top stars. He basically, you're taught to hustle on and off the field. Everything as an athlete, you're taught to hustle, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Run on the field, run off the field. There ain't a whole lot of running in baseball. Run on the field, run off the field. Well, Gary Sanchez, and I get it, it's a long season. You know, you hit the ground ball, you kind of loaf most often than not, you loaf down first base. Well, Gary Sanchez, twice, not once, twice. Guy was on second base. It was a pass ball. He actually hit him, his leg went in the air, went down to third baseline. He started jogging, so the guy in second ran to third, pass ball, and he started jogging to get the ball. The guy didn't stop. He kept running to home plate. So finally, Gary Sanchez realized it, hurried to get the ball. He threw it to the pitcher who was covering first base, and he threw it in the dirt and scored a run. What should have been the guy stopped at third base, scored because he loafed to get the ball. And heads up play by the base runner to score. Also, now, he got a guy on first. He hits a grounder, and I think it's third base or shortstop, and the guy muffed it. The guy muffs it. So he's loafing down to first base. And realized the guy muffed it. Now he starts trying to run, and they got picked up and threw him out of first base. And they would have had a base run. If he'd have hustled down like Edgar's taught, he'd have been at first base. Yeah. So Aaron Boone said, that's unacceptable. A lot of people came out and just said it's totally unacceptable. And they don't know if so they put him on the DL list, DL for today, disabled list for today. I don't know, man. That's just not good for young kids to see. That's not good for what you're taught. We're taught to hustle out. You run out every play. Look, I understand it's a long season. I understand, you hit a grounder at a guy. Why hustle and try to? But you got to show some hustle. You got to show that's what you play the game for. And if you would have hustled, you would have made it. The guy muffed it, and he would have made it. Instead, he got thrown out, and they would have had a guy come out and come in and score.
Yeah. Our coach would have made us run sprints the whole next practice.
Yeah. Well, and then just what are you gonna do when you're kids? That's all you can do. He's getting doc pay, so as he should. Yeah. So he was placed on a disabled list with the right groin strain, and that's it. Oh, that's the same why he didn't hustle. One after hustling on a couple of plays, and an MRI confirmed that he aggravated the same injury that sent him to the DL last month. Okay, so before I read going off, they took an MRI and they showed he strained his hamstring, aggravated the same injury that he did last year, so he didn't run too hard because of that. Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, right groin strain. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm sure he could have. Maybe he did. But man, you do the best you can to hustle. He just looked like he was on a Sunday stroll. Come on. Then if you could pull the hamstring, go sit down and let somebody else come in who can't hustle. That's just tough. That's just common sense, man. Stop. So anyhow, Gary Sanchez is put on the disabled list. Maybe that saves him a little bit of money. I don't know. What do you think about Manny Machado? We talked about him last week. Went to the Dodgers. That was great for the Dodgers. Dodgers now got to be favored to win it. First game, he goes he's on base 4 times. All 4 times up, he gets on base. That's a hell of a
Heck yeah.
hell of a. It's actually what 4 for 4. 4 for 4 the first game with the Dodgers. That's a hell of a debut. That's a hell of a debut. Hell of a debut. So he made his debut 4 for 4, and since then he's just been adding a lot of energy into the lineup. So you know, it's a great trade so far for both teams. For Manny, different you know, different place, no expectation. Come in with just come in to help give a little energy to the team. He's done that exceedingly, and for the Orioles, they got some young blood that they needed. So what else we got on there? How about it? I didn't realize one of the coaches, Zach Smith from Ohio State, one of the better coaches. Urban Meyer had to let him go because Zach Smith is up for a charge of domestic battery. See, look, man, them days are gone when you put your hands on your wife. First of all, you should never put your hands on your wife. You never put your hands on a woman. Granted, there's a lot of women who they're women, but they grow a set of balls, man, and they come at you, and I get it. Try to defend yourself. They come swinging at you. They come grabbing you, scratching. I get it, but you can't put your hands back, or you shouldn't. Easier said than done. Easier said than done, I know. But a lot of women want to, flex muscles, come on. But anyhow, domestic battery. So I do not subscribe to that. I do not agree to put your hands on a woman, but I also agree that a woman should be putting her hands on a guy. And a woman comes at you, got to defend yourself a lot of times. Sometimes you got to grab them, and sometimes you grab them hard, you hold them hard, you squeeze their arms, and leave bruises. I get that, And sometimes you push them away, and I don't advocate it, like I said. It's just hard when a woman is attacking you. So I don't know I'm not saying that's happened in this situation. I'm just saying that's happened in the past with a lot of guys. They defend themselves and they get assault and battery charges, domestic abuse. And that's just automatically people distancing themselves from that person. So Zach Smith now, Urban Meyer loved, one of his better coaches, but in the best interest of the team, he had to let him go. So, there we go with that. Let's see what else is on the table. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't expect to come out with a show today. We thought we wouldn't be here, and found out at the last minute that I was. How about it? Kevin Love from the Cavaliers. K-Love just signed a deal worth $120 million to stick with the Cavs. Oh, K-Love is 1 of the 3. No, of course, LeBron leaving. You know what this reminds me of though? K-Love was a major star when he went to Minnesota. He was an automatic double-double, rebounds and scoring. When he came to the Cavaliers, he didn't need to be the scoring machine. He still got double-double and rebounds and outlet passes, all the stuff that he did. He still averages double-double, but I mean, before it was 20 points a game. Now he's down to 15, 16. Now he's gonna have to bring him back 120 to get him. And he's coming as a young, strong guy. But when he was in Minnesota, he was the team. Yeah. He had to do everything. When he came here, all he had to do was help LeBron, and he did. And he got him to the three years in a row to the championships. So or 4 years since they were. LeBron left the championship for 4 years. So K-Love came when LeBron came. So yeah, 4 years in a row. That's awesome. So K-Love is just signed for $120 million guaranteed. 4 years. God bless him, man. That's what it's about. Getting paid. Yep. I'm all about athletes getting paid. You get paid according to what they're worth. And Caleb has been he's been a machine. Dwayne Wade's been offered $26 million to play in China. I'm saying, hey, D Wade, go to China, bruh. You know, the quality. If the competition is not going to be the same, getting paid $25 million. If you still got a little bit, if you got the passion for a little bit left, then do it. If you don't, then don't. You know, don't. Wow, 3 year, $25 million. So it's not $25 million a year. 3 years. So I'm thinking, well, $8+ million a year, and they say you get treated like a king if you go overseas to play. So, D Wade, give it some thought. But if your heart's not in it, obviously you don't do it. He retired because I think obviously he had no love for the game. Did he retire, or they were talking about a retirement? I don't think he officially retired. My bad. You know what? I apologize. I don't think he officially retired. He was talking about retiring. He was with the Bulls. So now I'm talking about him going to China instead of going back to the Bulls. I don't know. Maybe, but D Wade, why not? Give it some thought. So what else? What else we got? You know, it's just football season's coming up. They're going back into the camps now. Brownies, we're expecting a lot of good things with the Brownies this year. Should be a fun year. Should be a fun time to watch them. Baker Mayfield I think, is a winner. We'll see how it plays out for him in the pros. But I love this kid's attitude. I love this kid, his mindset. I love the fact that he was a walk-on. Won the starting job. He was a walk-on. Nobody offered him any scholarships. He was a walk-on at Oklahoma. Well, originally he was a walk-on at Texas A&M maybe. And then he left there to come to Oklahoma. And he was a walk-on at Oklahoma. And then he got the starting job. And then I don't got the starting job, won the Heisman Trophy last year. So this kid's and then he was the first quarterback picked. Went out of the big five. He had 5 this year, and he was the first one picked. Nobody thought he'd be the first, but he was. And he's a winner. And I love to see this kid. And he comes from Oklahoma, and he was coached by Bobby Stoops. And Bobby Stoops is off. I talked to Bobby about this kid, and Bobby loved him. He said he loved his attitude. He comes with no nonsense attitude. Nothing was given to him. He didn't come with any expectations, feeling he had to earn everything, and he did. So gotta love this kid's attitude. So I'm excited for the Brownies this year. You know, we got some opportunities. Let's make things happen. Let's see what's going on in the boxing world. What's going on in the boxing world? But yes, we're going to go on boxing world here. There's also today I heard, and from my friends in England, Scott, tell me if you heard today, Tyson Fury went on, he did a live stream, taped himself and ripping Anthony Joshua, saying that he's a disgrace for avoiding Wilder, saying that the fight was offered to him, they offered him $50 million, or whatever they offered him, not $50 million. They offered Joshua, 20 million, 15 to 20 million to come to the States, guaranteed, and that he turned it down, and he's going to fight Alexander Povetkin. Now, Alexander Povetkin is no easy fight, believe me, but I don't know don't know the reason quite why Joshua turned the fight down. So that's where, that's interesting. He turned that. Right now, another domestic violence charge. One of the Charlo brothers. There's two twins, Jermel and Jamal. Jermel was charged with felony kind of domestic violence. This is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. We won a fight over Austin Trout last June 9th, and so he was booked in Dallas, where he's from. So these are the type of things that have come out hurting athletes. So let's talk a little bit about. We'll get to it soon. But let's see what else boxing news. What other boxing news? Ray Beltran, my friend Ray Beltran, is going to make his defense of his first title defense of his title he won in February. It's going to be near his home in Arizona. He's from Phoenix area, originally from Mexico, but he's in Phoenix, living in Phoenix, and he's going to defend it in Glendale. And the fight will be August 25th against Jose Pedraza from Puerto Rico. So that should be a great fight for Ray. Ray Beltran's a friend of mine. I love this guy. He's everything good about boxing. Just one of these guys, gives you everything he's got. Hard-working guy. Fights, gives you honest day's work. And he's strong. A lot of heart, a lot of desire. So Ray Beltran is going to defend his title against Jose Pedraza August 25th at the Gila River Arena in Glendale, Arizona. So I'm happy for him. That'll be on ESPN. ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus. So if you don't have Plus, which I don't know if I get to see that. What other boxing news real fast before we get into some other things. They're talking about second day weigh-ins. You know, we talked about that last week when a couple guys weighed in overweight, didn't make weight, can't make weight. They're talking about second day weigh-ins. So if I weigh in the night before, which is the worst thing they ever did for boxing, is the night before weigh-ins. The worst. Nobody kids you. When I fought, and forever before that, it was the same day weigh-ins. And that became a TV decision, not a medical decision. Please do not get it twisted. It was not a medical decision. I've talked to doctors. I've talked to the television stations, the executives at television stations. Some of them were good friends of mine. And said, Ray, that's it. Yeah, it was a TV decision. I said, yeah, because we had too many opportunities. How it came about is that people say Ray Mancini's defending his title against Joe Danier, and Joe Danier comes in overweight. Doesn't make weight. They give him X amount of hours. He still don't make weight. So now they say he can't make weight, but he still. I decide we're still gonna fight. I accept the fight anyway. They go on the air and they say, ladies and gentlemen, Ray Mancini is going to defend his title against Joe Danier, but Joe Danier came in overweight. So now it's a 10-round non-title fight. The networks will get threatened with lawsuits from the advertisers who said, look, I paid for a title fight. Since I didn't get it, you owe me money back. So it became a big legal, it was legalities. And so that's why they started with the night before weigh-ins. Started off with the heavyweights because it became a big thing with the heavyweights to do on ESPN to show the weigh-ins with Mike Tyson specifically. That's when it started, the day before weigh-ins. And the night before weigh-ins because they didn't have to make weight, so it was a big thing. Now, the networks today, if it works for them, why come we can't do it for the others? So let's do the same day weigh-ins, night before weigh-ins. They can't put on that much weight. Well, that proved to be a falsehood. That a lot of guys put on 20 to 30 pounds. Some guys dried out, hurt themselves so bad, and then 20 to 30 pounds. Some of them went from 5 to 10, 10 to 15, some put on 20 to 25 pounds. That's a significant amount. And how about the kid that was supposed to fight last week and got canceled? The kid from Boston, Massachusetts. They had to put him, send him. He was trying to dry out so bad, Joe. Remember they put him intravenous, sent him to the hospital. Couldn't fight. He was supposed to fight Jose Ramirez on ESPN, right? He's a kid from Boston, and he dried out so bad, he fell out. They had to send him to the hospital. His body was shutting down. Worst thing you can do is drop weight dramatically like that. If you can't make the weight class, move up. Just move up. So, anyhow, they're talking about. So now they've proposed doing the night before, but then a second day weigh-in that you cannot gain more than 10 pounds. So you cannot put on more than 10 pounds going to the next day. So you weigh in the night before, you weigh in the next day, afternoon or whatever, and you cannot put on more than 10 pounds. So you still got to watch what you eat to an extent. But even then, you're not gorging. It's mainly liquids, pound liquids. So that's what they proposed. The second day weigh-in, and if you're over more than 10 pounds, then you get fined. And but I think it's a good idea. So let's see what happens. So anyhow, the second day weigh-ins are being proposed for title fights, and I think it's a good thing. Again, let's not forget, coming up on September 15th, Triple G versus Canelo. This is the big fight everyone's waiting for. I think Triple G beat him the first time, and I think he beats him again this time. Beats him easy, I think, this time. I think he beats him pretty good. So, that's it. But, okay, so that's a little bit about the boxing news. Oh, the fight this weekend. I'm sorry, this past weekend it was on. Jaime Manguia, however you say it, fought Liam Smith. Liam Smith from the UK at the Hard Rock Casino. And it went 12 rounds. And everyone thought Manguia was, you know, after the way he beat Saddam Ali. And Nicky could fight, don't get me wrong. This Manguia. But Liam Smith stayed with him, man. 12-round, action-packed fight. Lost unanimous decision, but he extended him. And everyone thought that Manguia was going to knock out Liam Smith. Liam Smith went the distance. Tough as they come. Typical tough guy from the UK. So, great job. You know, nothing to hurt himself. Probably actually will get better fights now. Liam Smith will, because he's tough as they come, and he'll get paid good money to go other people's hometowns to fight. I'm sure he does well in the UK, but now he could be a road warrior, make a lot of money going on the road to fight guys and beat most of these guys. So, you know, that's what Mickey Ward did for years. Mickey Ward, before he fought Arturo Gatti and became what he was, before he won the world title, Mickey Ward was a guy that was tough as they come, went on the road, became a road warrior, and was beating guys he wasn't supposed to beat. And then he started gaining momentum and started getting a name. And so who's this guy? And most people thought he was coming in as an opponent. Came in and was beating people, beating them good. So then that's how Mickey got a shot for the world title and won the version of the junior welterweight title. So, and then of course we all remember Mickey and Arturo Gatti for having those 3 wars. So, but anyhow, that's what Liam Smith, he can become a road warrior, make a lot of money. So, good luck to him. Okay, that's enough with the foot boxing talk. But you know, I'm a big advocate of, you know, you heard about this now, that it's not this transcendental meditation, you know. In other words, we talked about it last week. Yeah. I can't say the word, it's killing me. Transcendental. Joe, look up the word for me, please. Transcendental. Transcendental?
Yes.
No.
Transcending. Transcendental?
Look, I can look.
I'll look it up.
All right, anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. Most of you do. I'm killing the word. Transcendental meditation. That's it. Transcendental meditation. No, not dental teeth. That's teeth. Anyhow.
Transcendental meditation.
Transcendental meditation. Transcendental meditation. Wow. I need to have some after this show, because I can't even say the word. But we talked about it being. It's all about being in the now, being in the moment. But it's more than that, and it's actually not being. It's not so much more than being in the now. It's about seeing yourself, being complete stillness, complete stillness with yourself, and being a complete calm, being complete comfort within yourself, and seeing where you, and then visualizing your life where it is and where you would like to be. So this is a big thing. People are doing it. My son's doing it. He loves it, and they have these centers, transcendental meditation centers in Los Angeles, that people are going. A lot of actors are going. Hugh Jackman's big on it. A lot of athletes are turning to it, and I just think it's a great thing. And I've tried to do some of myself on my own. I've learned what the steps are, and I'm trying to do it. And I find myself taking, you know, there's no set amount of time. They try to say set an X amount of time, but I've done it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, where you're just at that moment, you're just there. We're seeing yourself where you're at and where you'd like to be. But being in a moment, being present. And that's what I try to be. And I think we all need that more in our lives. Especially when it comes to you have kids. I know when I was younger, I loved having my kids, being with my kids. But there was a time period when there are times when your kids are making you crazy, of course. But a lot of that comes not from your kids. It's because outside references from outside. When you're working, you had a bad day at work. You're not getting the news that you want to hear at work. you're not getting the calls that you want to get at work. You go home and you get this built up aggravation, and of course, the kids it could be a small thing, and they set you off. And you know, there's times I felt terrible. You know, I wasn't the most patient with my children at that time. And then there's other times you're with them all day, and it's the best thing in your life. So I think it's imperative for parents to be consistent with their kids, because your kids don't want to know, their kids want to know who they're waking up to. They want to know who's coming home to them and who they're coming home to. So I tried to do that. I may not have been the best at it back then. I tried, but I think that's a lot. I realize a lot of it now, what it was. So I think a lot of people understand that we need to be present in our lives. Be present when you're driving the car. As my man Joe gives us little tidbits and nuggets of information. I watch it in the morning as he's driving, and it's a beautiful thing that people can get up and get these little nuggets. I love that. They're like chicken nuggets from McDonald's. No, they're like chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Little nuggets look filling, but not that satisfying. No, I'm teasing.
Burn.
I'm teasing. My man Joe is a very deep guy. Deep, because he told me so. So, no. I think it's great, Joe, that you do that. I think it's important to people to get to know themselves. Look, all I know is this. Part of this being a fighter, is you buy yourself a lot, so you better get to learn to like yourself a lot, because you're going to be by yourself, like I said, you're going to be by yourself a lot, so you better like it, and like who you are and what you are. And after 30 years, I've come to accept myself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I accept it all, and I'm comfortable with myself. I'm happy with who I am. But believe me, people always say, you have regrets, of course. And everybody says they have no regrets. It's a liar. It's a lie. Everyone has regrets. Now, do I have any major regrets? Yeah, I do. But I'm saying this. People say, I have no major regrets. Well, God bless you if you could do that. But I think, you look back and things we should have done, could have done, would have done different if circumstances were different. So I just think you got to be comfortable in your own skin. That's first and foremost. Be comfortable with who you are. And it's a lot of guys who I know that are single and talk about getting married, not sure they want to get married. Look, nobody wants to be alone. I don't think anybody wants to be alone. I don't think that's a great quality of life. And as a matter of fact, studies have shown that single men have a shorter lifespan than those who are married. Though those who are married, and when you're married, you're going through some of the times would probably disagree with that. Saying, because man, she's killing me, man, she's killing me. Oh, but I think sharing your life with someone is a better quality of life, and I think studies have shown that. So get to know who you are, like who you are, and however you get to that point. I always said there's different ways to get to a certain destination. You take one road, I take another road, as long as we get to the same destination, and that's the fulfillment, happiness, contentment. I always tell people say, money, you've heard it say, money does not bring you happiness. No. People say, oh, no, it doesn't. No. Money gives you contentment. Contentment and happiness are two separate things. Don't get them twisted. Happiness is a state of where you're at. I'm happy. It's a joyful feeling. I'm happy. Contentment is a state of being. You got to be content. Whether you got money or not, you got to be content where you're at. Contentment is I'm happy with who I am, what I am. Maybe I'd like things to be, I'm trying to be a better person, but I'm content with where I'm at. I'm content with my family life. I'm content with my spouse. I'm content with my partner. I'm content with my children doing well. I'm content. Happiness is contentment is a state of being. Happiness is a momentary thing. It's a moment. It's a momentary. It can last for a period, longer period. Just like sadness can. Sadness can be a long period or shorter period, but it's a temporary thing. Happiness and sadness are a temporary thing. Contentment and misery are two separate things. I think people get mistake being. I read where what was it? you're depressed and despair are two separate things. Depressed is a state of being. When you're depressed, that's a state of being. Despair is a state, is a place you're at. That's much more dramatic. Despair is much more dramatic. It's much more, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's much more stronger than depression. Depression can get you to, you can get from going from depression to despair. But man, you get to despair, that's tough. But you can get in, you know, but we can get ourselves in and out of depression. You can, through maybe not the easiest way, maybe through, it's got, you know, talking to ourselves again. It's a way of, it's got to be self-discipline. Some people get themselves out, talk themselves through it, get themselves through it. Maybe it's something that happens in our life that we could channel it to a different energy, to a different place. But despair, man, that's like being in the gallows, man. That's being at the pit. Two different things. So depression leads to despair. But if you're, you know, but when you experience despair, that's the lowest you can end. You got to see something. That's when you got to see medical people. That's when you need to get help from some psychologist, psychiatrist. But depression is a temporary thing, so just understand that. Again, such as joy, such as happiness, they're temporary things. Contentment is a long-standing thing. Contentment, despair, two things, long term. But you know, you can get there. Contentment through happiness. You know, but that, if you're content doesn't mean you're always going to be happy. Okay, you got it, Joe? That's a little nugget for you. It's a good nugget for you, my brother. And that ain't chicken nuggets either. So anyhow, I just hope that anybody finds your contentment, find your happiness that leads to contentment. Find that through power of prayer, through your children, through your friends, your spouse. But more than anything, find your contentment through yourself, however you get there. And there's plenty of times that I just can read a book. I'm content. I go to watch a movie. Go to a movie, go to theater. I'm content. I'm in a good place. Being content's a good thing. You know, I don't have to be over the top happy all the time because I don't let myself ever get to the gallows of despair. I don't allow that. If I go through a bit of depression, I combat it. I combat it with good thoughts, with positive thoughts. It's just that you have to, and that's through being a fighter. I've learned that through being a fighter. Because as a fighter, negative thoughts are constantly attacking your brain, constantly attacking you going into a fight. Negative thoughts, positive thoughts. I see myself holding the belt over my head. I see myself with my hands raised. I see myself knocking my opponent out. The next day, you have thoughts of him getting you on chin, you getting dropped. Your eye getting cut and swallowing your own blood and getting knocked out. See, these are things that attack you. So when you have that, we got to keep that confidence level. You got to keep that confidence up. When you got to be upbeat, positive. Negative thoughts are always creeping in or trying to creep in. And so when sports psychologists will tell you, I've read a lot about it. Your mind's got to be like a toilet. You take the good stuff, but the bad stuff you flush out. You flush the bad stuff out. So as soon as negative stuff comes in, you got to flush it out like a toilet. But the good stuff, let it run through your body. You know, run through your body. It's like the pipe that goes through going through from your head to your heart to your soul. That's the good stuff. The bad stuff, you flush it out. So it's easier said than done. I know it, but it's a practice. You got to train yourself. It's a training method. You got to practice it. You got to practice it, and until you get to the point where you can do it. And they'll also tell you got to have a happy place, a safe place, in your brain, in your mind, in your heart, that you can go to when you get these negative thoughts, that you can retreat to. And I used to do that, going to. I did that when I felt when all these negative thoughts. Then boom, you got to immediately shut it down and go to your safe place where you see yourself with your hands raised in victory, where you see yourself being fulfilled, happiness, whatever it is. I'm identifying it when I was fighting, because that happened a lot when I was fighting. Negative thoughts are always going to try to creep in. But when you know when you're trained hard and you're feeling good, little by little, those negative thoughts, you could flush them out because you know you're doing your job and the better you feel. So, but it happens as to athletes, it happens to everyday people. So strengthen your resolve, strengthen your mind, however you do it, through prayer, through meditation, transcendental meditation. Find your happy place, find your place where you're content, it's that safe room. It's that safe room that everyone should have in their mind, in their heart, and in their soul. Okay, I'm gonna leave you with that for right now, because we're going on, and I don't want to keep talking about the same stuff. So, again, I may or may not be here Thursday. Check it out on Facebook, Instagram. Either way, we'll have a show. Either where it'll be best of the Boom Boom Room. We have the files, you know. We're gonna go back into the archives and bring in some of the best shows from the past that I had on radio. If not, I'll be here. But if not, we'll do the best of the Boom Boom Room here at Boom Boom Room Live, and you know, have some fun with it and help you have some laughs and entertain you best we can. So until then, thank you for listening. Take care of each other, love each other. Good night. God bless.